Brother Marvin, how are you, sir? What's going on? We in the building. How's everybody feeling today? What's going on? Positive vibrations. Feel the atmosphere this morning and to expound on the energies of the planet wherever you at. Hope this message finds you. You're new here. Hey man, I can't complain. I'm just deep into the knowledge and really focused on spiritual attainment. So within that, I'm receiving the fruits of that. So a beautiful moment in time that I'm not really taking for granted. I try to go into. Went well past the 2-minute mark. Let me turn this music down. For sure, I appreciate you helping my analytics, Des P. I appreciate that. Even if you can't watch the video, just clicking on it, it really helps me. So I appreciate that to the family. And so let's get into this build. Today is August 10th, 2018. It's Friday, the day of love. As we begin to expound. What's up, Deb Ogden? Good, namaste. Namaste. Yeah, I want to talk about some dreams that I had last night, some interpretations. I got so much information to talk about today that I don't think I'm gonna be catching the bus today. I think it's an Uber day for me. So we just going to try to just deal with this energy a day before the solar eclipse and probably give you another perspective as opposed to the perspective that's on the internet that simply leaves you with more questions than gives you answers. Today I'm going to try to give you answers and a perspective on how to understand this energy. And so the first thing that I want to bring up is levels. We're all on different levels of the spectrum of spiritual experience and spiritual karma. Some of us has rose up out of karma. Some of us are trying to reach, psychic powers, psychic abilities. Some of us are readers wanting to enhance our reading abilities. Some of us are jealous of other people who have these abilities. And so if you find yourself today in an energy of jealousy, anger, you're confused, you don't know what's going on, you wonder why you feel this way, it's important that you detach from all things and really connect to soul and really start to search for spiritual attainment. And there's no other way that I can put this. There's no better way that I can put this. The greatest thing that human beings can strive for in 2018 is spiritual attainment, because what comes with spiritual attainment is the 4 aims of life, which we get everything that we want plus more. So I just want to start off with that. And then this was interesting. Gucci Mane dropped a new song yesterday called Kept Back with the Cupid's bow as the image. So if you tuned in yesterday, we talked about being kept back for not understanding the energy. And then we also expounded on the Cupid's bow, which is the upper lip, which is also consciousness in a sense, because we realize that we are not our body, sometimes we're not even our mind. So what are we? We are our voice. So we are the thing that projects out of our mouths. And so that's how the Cupid's bow is symbolized. So if you want a full expounding on the Cupid's bow, that whole conversation that we had yesterday, Gucci Mane was like, this nigga Hoodmystic, he be on his shit, so I'm gonna have to hop on his coattails with this information, because you know I did this video at 8 o'clock. He dropped this song at 12 p.m. So you know I was ahead of the curve on that, and I just bring that up just to say that this information and going beneath the surface and understanding things from a psychic level is not a game, and it puts you right on par with what everything is going on. So if you find yourself submerged in the ocean this morning, understand that by connecting to spirit, you can rise to the surface and be able to have a, you know, an expanded, holistic 360-degree view. And so another point that I want to expound upon before I get into the astrology is that spirituality and spiritual people, they're not really spiritual based upon their knowledge and their information. What makes a person spiritual is experience. Now, I'm not knocking information and knowledge, but I'm telling you that it does not make you spiritual. It just makes you more intelligent to the layman or the novice or the person who doesn't know much about spirituality. And so I have an example of what I actually mean. Thank you, Rebecca. Peace to everybody joining the live. An example of this is what we see and what we experience every day if you watch sports. Now, there's a host of people who play sports, but then there's a host of people who commentate sports. That 9 times out of 10, maybe they played a sport, but they haven't played the sport that they're commentating on. And we as human beings are forced to listen to them commentate on the subject for which they're commentating on. So in our minds, we simply accept it. But as this energy shifts, you shouldn't really expect it when we talk about spiritual people discussing spiritual topics. This is more like, you cannot really fully understand spirituality by reading books. So when people discuss it, they're reading based upon some information that they read, and they're not processing it or applying to their lives. And so if you listen to these people, you must not kill the messenger, and 2, learn to how to apply whatever it is that's going on in your life to applicable knowledge. So we can't be passive with spirituality is basically what I'm trying to say as we begin to build on the astrology for today. And so I didn't know that I was going to go live on Saturday, but I think that I am going to go live on Saturday based upon the energy. But I wanted to really deal with Saturn and its aspects and what it actually means to us as the individuals dealing with this energy, and how we begin to process it esoterically. Saturn is square Chiron. So Saturn square Chiron is basically an obstacle remover. Indeed, that's real talk. Hit that like button. I didn't even do any intro or anything. I just went straight into the information because I feel that this information is so important. But Saturn square Chiron is basically expounding on the fact that obstacles need to be removed out of our lives. And the problem with that is that we love our obstacles. We love them. We love the things that are blocking us from spiritual attainment. And this shows up as attachment. So a square, you need to realize and understand your attachments moving forward. If spirituality is something that you're interested in, you may be interested in attachments. And so with being interested in those attachments, be sure to know that wherever those attachments go, you have to go by the very nature of you being attached. So spirituality is all about being free and being liberated. So you really need to be mindful. The problem is that we love our attachments, so we need to figure out a holistic way to deal with those attachments. The solution is always purpose. Indeed, my mother was born in 1950. So the energy that we always want to focus on, the energy that we always want to hone in on is purpose, spiritual purpose, individual purpose, and not get caught up into, you know, everyday droning on rat race type shit. Not being aware, not being cognizant of the energy of today. Today is a magical spiritual moment that most people will not notice or realize and understand that they are electromagnetic beings, and that the human body is just a machine that you control through your electromagnetic frequency. And then that loses people. It's like, oh, you talking deep now, you crazy now. But you know, we've built upon this and we've expounded upon this day after day. So it to me is more of a realization, the reality that we can create our lives, and we can control our lives, and we can control our narratives, and we can get out of this system and bring prosperity into our lives, and bring ease into our lives, and ease stress out of our lives by understanding our energy, transforming our energy, changing our narratives. And so as Saturn trines Uranus, Uranus is speaking to changes and adjustments in the terrestrial world by projecting our voice. And this is trining, which means that it's helping Saturn, which means that it's inherent, which means we don't have to work really hard to fully understand that the truth will set you free. And those lies that you tell from day to day is the shit that F's you up. I go in and out of cussing because I don't necessarily know who be listening. If I'm ever mindful of myself, I don't cuss, but sometimes the spirit speaks and I can't stop it. And so lies will mess you up, and learning how to speak your truth is something that I'm developing, something that I'm very cherishing and holding true as one of the saving graces to my whole soul's existence. Speaking my truth, not letting anybody say anything to me that I don't like, that I'm not feeling, and not letting shit just go by because I don't want to stir things up. I don't want to cause any conflict. I don't have any conflict in myself, so it's nothing that a person can tell me that can move me or persuade me out of the relationship that I have with myself. See, a lot of times when we don't have that relation with ourselves, we're easily led to people who can speak to that void. But it was never their responsibility to fill that void. It was always your responsibility to attain spirit, to attain what's true to you, and live in that space. So, as Saturn squares Venus, we want to highlight the fact that, are you aligned with destiny? Are you aligned with spiritual attainment? As opposed to being misaligned with it by luck. See how Saturn is squaring downwards to Chiron and Venus, and it's a T-square. That's what you call a T-square, where Venus and opposed Chiron are opposing each other, and in the middle of this is Saturn. And a T-square is an irreconcilability. It is a situation that cannot be resolved, and it's okay. So what am I talking about? I have to go back to sports to give you more of a clear picture of a T-square and how to handle the energy. And this could be a relationship. This could be a job. But I'm gonna break it down even smaller. When we're full-grown adults, our height is just simply our height. Yeah, we can accentuate it with heels and things of that nature, but our height is simply our height. And if I wanted to play basketball and I'm 5'9", that presents itself as a T-square, because the tallest players in basketball are the better players, give or take, within a range, and 5'9" is outside of that range. So therefore, that is a square. It's an irreconcilability. So either I can focus on my jump shot and my dribbling and everything that I work well with to make it to the NBA, or I'm just gonna have to give it up and become an accountant. And so with our relationships, that relationship is 5'9", and you deserve a relationship that's 6'5". So either you're going to ball with him, ball with her, you just got a short person on the squad, or you're going to have to get a taller player. Okay? And that's Saturn square Chiron, Saturn square Venus, Venus opposed Chiron. Hope that's very clear to understand when you're looking at your situations. Is this situation tall enough? Is this situation big enough? It's not? Okay. Can we work on some skills? Can't work on those skills? Okay, I need to get another relationship because it's just impossible for you to make it in the NBA at 5'9", bro. 5'9", sis. Maybe the WNBA, 5'9" is a good height. You just gotta understand where you at the beginning. I explain levels. Where are you at? You know, my relationship is 20 feet tall. That's just reality. Venus square Saturn, we discussed that. And so let's talk about Venus, because Venus is freshly into Libra, opposing Chiron, and still trying to figure out this existential situation. And the question always comes up to, why do I feel bad? Why am I sad? Why am I feeling some type of way? Well, there's some answers to that. One, you're not getting enough sleep. Two, you are choosing the wrong people to associate with. Three, you're attached to situations that are unhealthy. And so one of these three, or a combination of all three, or 2 out of 3, is why you're feeling bad. That's a question that I got a lot yesterday. And so I'm answering it to everybody holistically, because I can't really go through one by one. It's a lot of people that kind of reach out, but you really have to deal with those attachments to parents, sons, sister, brother, friends, girlfriend, boyfriend. Stupid ass attachments. Dopest attachment to really work towards is the attachment to self, the attachment to your spiritual attainment, not the attachment to your physical body. You look good, look beautiful, but you still ain't healed. So we want to go deeper than just being attached to the physical self. We want to be attached to the spiritual self, and that's a self you haven't looked at in a long while. So Venus trine Mars. If we look at Mars right now, Mars is at 0 degrees Aquarius on the border of Capricorn. And with all this energy going on, with the solar eclipse going on all down in Leo, you building yourself up, you trying to be the best that you can be, you know, or you're not. So this energy shows up 2 different ways with the same one word. And that word is edge. A lot of you niggas is on the edge, and a lot of us are proceeding through the earth with edge. We wish a person would say something. What? Huh? You sure you want them problems? And it's gotten to a point where you can't even threaten us with murder or threaten us with anything to harm us, because we realize that out of this body is where we got a lot of work for you. So you better keep us in this body. You better leave us alone, because we will F you up. So this is really power, and understanding your power and walking forth with your power. And so, like I said, that's edge. A lot of you, most of the people in the world that you come across, their power has been money, finances, and resources that don't ever exist. That's completely illusionary. They out here working with video game credits, trying to put them into real life, you know, currency. And real life currency is character, integrity, you know, initiative, new ideas. Money don't bring that. Money bring you PlayStation 4, so you and big screen TVs and shit like that. Money don't wake you up. So interesting shit. And as we move forward, we moving forward with, I say confidence, but it's deeper than confidence. It's the spiritual attainment, the spiritual knowing that you are the shit spiritually, and can't nobody fuck with you spiritually. And you wish they would try to come to you on some spiritual shit. And this is the confidence and power that I'm talking about. When you go into an interview, you don't want to hire me. You know what I'm saying? That type of energy. Like, you don't want to be with me? You think that this kind of love is going to just, you meet people like this every day? Wow. Okay. What am I talking about? I'm really talking about magic. And as people have been focusing and dealing and trying to build their magic by focusing on their meditation, focusing on their divination, and you are going to be rewarded for that energy. There are people who are not. There are people who are investing in sadness and pain and turmoil and trauma and wishing for somebody to come save them. The only person that can come save you is the Grim Reaper. So you really need to be attuned with what's really happening. And you got to deal with those skeletons in the closet like we talked about yesterday. So I'm not going to beat y'all ears up. Just going to really just point to Venus sextiling the moon and the nodes, where I think that really encapsulates this whole entire energy, where it's just saying that if the moon is conjunct Neptune, and that's your subconscious mind connecting and getting real intimate with your holistic spiritual energy, and as Venus sextiles this energy where she's so superficial and she's real shallow and she doesn't want to look deep, if she's able to look deeper into the spiritual, then she's able to see and get a better perspective, and maybe she chooses different when it comes to relationship. Maybe she chooses differently when it comes to career. Maybe she chooses it differently how she dresses and how she's appearing, and then this creates a different vibration for her. And so peace to everybody on the live. I hope y'all enjoyed the astrology as we get into this tarot, as we begin to expound on this energy even further. The first thing that we see, the first thing that we realize is the Ten of Swords, where this just is a point where something needs to be broken off, period. It just needs to be cut off. And that's attachment to anything unhealthy, anything that's not gonna fill you up, anything that's not gonna bring you to your fulfillment, and you keep moving forward with these attachments and this illusion and bringing this negative energy to your life. And it's like, why, sis? Why, bro? Let go. Start over. Let the focus be spiritual attainment. Forgive yourself, and these things will begin to work themselves out. I promise. And I speak on spirituality not from a book, even though I've read thousands of books. I speak on spirituality through experience. If I didn't have this experience, I wouldn't talk. But I have to learn through cutting people off and really understanding that if you're making me feel bad, there's a reason why you shouldn't be in my vicinity right now. So let me figure that out. And maybe if I come back around on this circle, because life is a cycle, maybe I will be healed enough to accept your energy. But if I can't accept your energy at this point in time, then allow me to heal myself. As we progress into the Nine of Swords, and we talk about this card a lot, those attachments without examination is going to bring along mental illness. And it don't even matter if that's a good person or a good situation that you attach to. The point of it is to attach to yourself so you can always be aligned in the right direction, even if it's with this person or not with this person. The problem is always based on us and our understanding. And let's re-expound on this Ace of Wands, which we talked about yesterday. Let's begin to focus on our passion, and let this energy of this lightning symbolically represents a flash of inspiration, a flash of insight. And all of those words begin with I-N. I-N is referring to within yourself. Do not sleep on yourself, and stop thinking that your value is somewhere in the external world before you create that value within yourself. I promise you, if you build up this energy within you, everything around you is going to make sense. So you don't have to ask that question, why do I feel sad? Because the only thing that matters to you, you're not paying attention to. Please. And so we deal with the four of this. We've dealt with the four of this, and we're just talking about that bridge. We're talking about being able to cross from this individual lost ass life, human being life, and crossing into our power center. And so this is done by utilizing the four elements. which we are all made up of. And so we think that everything, you could create something without the four elements, which you can't, but everything is encapsulated in the four elements. As we learn to manipulate and deal with the electromagnetic frequencies, we can deal with our world. But if you at the back end of that bridge, bro, you don't understand what the hell I'm talking about. It's important that you take those steps and cross that bridge, because I'm living proof. It's 2018. 3 years ago, I was homeless with 2 children, and that's it. And that's it. That's it. And so it took me from actually walking and crossing that bridge to be in this space where I can say that I have a family, a business, confidence, happiness, joy, love. I got emotional because I really am living this shit, and it's not a game. And so as we talk about it, the two of this change, really changing your life from an individual to a spiritual being, and the fruit of that. And thinking that there is some individual goal or individual life that you can somehow gain and have, and that's gonna be good enough. It's not. Life is constantly evolving and changing. These cycles, these seasons, they don't stop. You need to grow fruit every fucking season. You need to harvest every fucking year. That shit don't never change. That shit don't never stop. So why are you, what type of goal could you have when you know that life constantly changing? Being in this energy. And why would you even experience certain things? You have to begin to extrapolate yourself from your troubles and turmoils and shit, and understand that light creates darkness and darkness creates light. This is universal law. Everything that you've experienced for a purpose, for you to resolve that shit. And sometimes the best resolution is to simply walk away. Make a decision. Be strong. Build yourself up. Meditate. It should be a fucking cuss word. Fucking should be a normal word allowed in school, and meditation should be a goddamn cuss word. Don't say that word. Meditate. That shit boring. I don't like that. But for some people, they spent their whole lives meditating in that zone for years. And I'm one of them, where I could put myself in a position where I'm homeless or in a negative space because meditation is that much important to me, because I don't know. And I know that the answers is within me, so I have to look for those answers that's within me. And it took a while. It took a while, but we here now, and I feel great, and I'm glad that everybody was able to join me on the live as we begin to expound on this message and these transmissions that came very clear. The dream last night was, I gotta tell y'all about this dream because maybe y'all had this similar dream. It was this Indian man, woman, child, teenager, mix. He had long hair. It was like kind of that shit, nice and curled at the edges. And when I say he was so beautiful, I could hardly take it. But I'm just saying he was so beautiful because I can't explain it in words what I seen. And you know how my videos be with the smoke and shit? That's how he was. It was mad smoke. And he kind of peered through the smoke and he looked at me. And I was like, I don't swing that way, but you fine as hell. And then I heard Mami Watas. Then I heard Mami Watas. I said, okay. That's the energy. And then I thought about it more because that was like at 12 o'clock. And then I heard Mama say Mama Sama Makusa. Mama say Mama Sama Makusa. And I was like, oh shit, that was Michael fucking Jackson. And then I put it all together. Michael Jackson is up in heaven doing the damn thing. I'm telling you, he on some other shit. He really want people to get into that music and me. So just Google Music and Me, Michael Jackson, if you want to kind of get into the vibe or the energy. I don't know. It was these Vedic names, they have different incarnations. So I guess it all relates back to this. I don't know. I'm not even gonna put no names on it. You know him as Michael Jackson though. Music and Me. I'm not even gonna promote nothing because I'll promote shit in every video. I just really wanted to get that message out. But this is August 10th, the daily energy reading. Want to know anything about me? Hundreds of videos where I'm saying who I am and where I am and what I do. So check those videos. Everybody have a good day. Get on this.